You've arrived at the Texas to Tennessee Podcast, your home for your favorite independent artists and a couple of guys you've never heard of.
Who?
It was Texas, it was Tennessee. It was what I had coming to me. You were unlike anything.
Howdy, folks. You have arrived at the Texas to Tennessee Podcast. Just like Evan Boyer and Adam Hood said there. Thank you guys, as always, for that intro. First off, we see you on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you so much for being here. We ask you to send Soul Gravy a bunch of money so we can continue this endeavor. If you can't do that, just subscribe. It's free. So
and share with your music-loving friends. Absolutely.
Soul Gravy, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. A little bummed out. You know about it, but we saw on the socials with our buddy JD Graham. I don't know a whole lot of information, but JD was in a wreck this evening in New Mexico, and apparently is from what I saw anyway, is in a hospital in Amarillo. So no telling. I don't have a whole lot of information on that, but I'm hoping he's, sending prayers and good thoughts and good vibes to him and his family. He's a friend of the podcast and been nothing but cool to me since the day I reached out to him. So,
absolutely, our thoughts are with JD and his family for sure, and hope that he's pulling through this deal. So, tonight we are extremely excited to have our friend Trenton Fletcher on. Trenton, good to see you. Welcome in.
Hey, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah. You know what? We every Tuesday, every Wednesday, 8:00. The guests just keep getting better and better. So this is like Christmas for me. So appreciate you being here. We're gonna have you start off, if you don't mind, just taking a little bit of time and telling us a little bit about yourself. Anything that you want to share that you think we should know.
All right. Well, thank you guys again for having me. My name is Trenton Fletcher. I'm from Fox, Oklahoma. I grew up just north of Red River a little ways, and I don't know, I guess we'll just start somewhere musical. My whole family kind of played growing up, a lot of bluegrass pickers and a lot of country music, and it was kind of something I was always around. And I started playing guitar at a young age and writing songs here and there. Didn't really get serious with it until college. I guess 2016, I moved to Shawnee, Oklahoma. Was playing some college football over at Oklahoma Baptist University, and just got in with some good buddies and started writing songs and hitting some open mics. And it didn't take me long to realize that football was not what I was supposed to be doing. And, everything was calling me to Stillwater. So I dropped everything in 2018, moved to Stillwater, just kind of chasing all the legends and myths of the OG days. I'm sure you've heard them all the original Red Dirt stuff. And that's kind of what called me there, chasing that. And just met my best friends in the whole world up there, and just kept getting better at writing songs and better performing, and just being in a pressure cooker of talented people in a small town just will make you absolutely get better at it, and so thankful for that, and started going to open mics and playing a bunch of acoustic shows, and eventually put a band together. And the whole time I'm just trying to be observant and, see what's working for people, see what's not. But I thought I was going to be really country at the beginning, and then it got pretty rock and roll, as time has gone on, but still throw a dart somewhere there in the middle. But I like to tell people, if you can, listen to Audio Slave and Whiskey Myers, you'll jam with us. So that's kind of where I'm at. That's just a crash course, a brief journey over the last 10 years, I guess, but it's been fun and eventful, and, blessed to have met the people that I have at this point in my life.
Well, you mentioned some of the OGs talked about the OGs of the Red Dirt scene. I'm not sure Soul Gravy's familiar with, but based upon his name, I think he might be. I'm not sure, but all right. So
speaking of guys that you can throw a dart in the middle of country and rock and roll, right? So
100%.
Right.
Absolutely. So how far was your hometown from Ardmore?
So about 35 minutes northwest of Ardmore. About 30 minutes east of Duncan. Little 8-man football, Fox, Oklahoma. I graduated with like 24 people. Don't even have a gas station, so it's tiny. But I just tell everybody Ardmore so they have somewhere to reference.
Yes. Well, we appreciate that, and nobody appreciates that more than Soul Gravy, because this will make his life a little bit easier tonight. Fox,
I've actually heard like Ardmore in songs, like
Okay.
I've heard references of Ardmore and
oh man, I don't know what episode this was, but that would have been Caden Gilliard.
that was one of them.
He references Ardmore, and that
I'm pretty sure Coe has a song that references
I think
Ardmore.
right.
He
I
does it
think
a couple, 2 or 3 times throughout
Yeah.
his records.
Mhm.
There's a Dolly Shine tune Jared Fleischer wrote called Snakeskin Boots. Yeah, it's talking about Long Grove, which is basically Ardmore. So
Yes.
I love
And-
covering that one. That's a fun one.
Another guest, Adara Kay from
Yeah.
Long Grove as well.
Yeah,
So.
she's a good friend of mine.
Oh, very cool. All right. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
we're huge fans of Adara.
Yeah.
All right. So Ardmore has a population, estimated population for the area of 48,491 as of 2013. That's the last one I have on here. Thanks, Wikipedia. So that's probably the metro Ardmore area. But Soul Gravy, I've got a list of folks, and I think it's going to be somewhat successful, but
Okay.
there's going to be some that you're going to struggle with. I'm just going to go
Somewhat
ahead and tell you.
successful that's okay with me.
Okay, all right.
Let's,
Well, we're going to start out with one of the more famous Oklahoma State football players. Also played, how about this? I'll tell you where else he played, and you can tell me who he is. How about that?
since you gave part of it away.
I did give it
Okay.
away. All right, he played at
At least
Oklahoma
I'm paying
State.
attention.
He played wide receiver, and great wide receiver, one of the best ever for Oklahoma State. Also played for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, the Jaguars.
He was dominant.
And this was during was this during like the Brunel days,
Yes,
at
it would have
that
been
time? And I
the
can't
earlier days of Jacksonville.
Yeah, I can't picture who
All right,
that
his
is,
name's
but
Justin Blackman. And if you
Okay.
ever go watch highlights of that dude, he was an absolute monster. So
Mhm.
shout out to him. All right. This one's slightly more difficult.
hmm
Charles Coe, COE.
no, I don't think I'm familiar.
He was a 2-time U.S. amateur golf champion and World War II combat pilot.
Did you say miniature golf or amateur golf?
No, amateur.
Okay. I mean, if I was
I mean,
a
that would
miniature
be
golf
badass,
champion,
too.
I would
Like,
be definitely
That can
claiming
come in
that
handy.
too. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, all right. All right, this one I think you got a pretty good
kids
shot
hate
at.
playing with dad at miniature golf.
We're heavy on the sports early on, so shout out to Ardmore. Mark Gastineau.
Oh man, I know that name too, and I'm not sure why I do.
Stay in the sports ball.
No, I was thinking
Bro.
sports, but I can't remember.
All right, he was part of the New York Sack Exchange, which is one of the great nicknames of all sport.
hmm
He was one of the defensive ends. He was, one of the best players in the NFL for the Jets. So it's been a little while.
Yeah.
All right, this one also a little bit more difficult. Sylvan Goldman was born in 1898. That should help.
Well, it's not the investor or no, never mind. Continue
bank?
on. Yes.
No, Sylvan Goldman is the inventor of the shopping cart.
Okay.
He was
That's
born in
pretty-
Ardmore.
That's pretty important.
Yeah, I mean,
I
we've
mean,
all
slightly
used it,
more
I think.
important than miniature golf champion, but
That's
we'll
true.
take what you can get.
All right. John Hinckley Jr.
I mean, I'm assuming he was John Hinckley's son, but that's about all
He
I
was.
got. What else? What did he do?
He shot former President Ronald Reagan in the failed assassination attempt in 1981. His dad worked at a local oil company there in Ardmore.
Okay.
Not Ardmore's greatest hour, but these things happen. Rue McClanahan, Soul Gravy.
I don't think I'm familiar.
She's a famous actress. She was one of the Golden Girls.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
One of your favorite shows.
Definitely. Thank you for being a friend.
All right, this one you get a pass just because You're not from Oklahoma, but if you're from Oklahoma, you probably know who this is. His name
Okay.
is Samuel Lloyd Noble.
No, I'm not familiar. Trenton, do
He's
you
a-
know any of these people that he's asking me?
Hit or miss, but
Okay.
Sam Noble one is pretty big.
Yep.
Okay.
Lloyd Noble is he was a famous Mormon philanthropist, the Noble Corporation. He was the founder of, and he has several buildings on the OU campus that are named, including the basketball stadium. It's called Lloyd Noble Arena. So there you go.
Okay.
All right, we have 2 left. Soul Gravy.
Okay.
Mike and Maurice Pouncey. Actually, we have 3 because that's 2 dudes.
Yeah, that I don't know those Pounceys. The other there are some sports ball people that are with Pouncey, but it's not them. So,
It is.
is it?
It actually is. Yeah, they played at the University of Florida. They're part of those national championship teams that were.
Oh, I thought and maybe it was Maurice, the one that.
Yep.
Okay.
They also played. I think Maurice played for the Steelers, and I can't remember. Mike
That's
maybe
right.
played for the Dolphins. Does that sound right? All right. All right, last
Sure
one,
it
Soul
does.
Gravy. This is your chance for complete redemption. Gentleman's name is Rex Ryan.
Rex Ryan is a football coach. I think a former player. I'm sure he's a big guy. Surely he had to play.
He is, and I think he's on the tube quite a bit too. Like he's on the
ESPN.
Sunday shows and whatnot. Also has a foot fetish apparently, but whatever. That was a whole different thing. So shout out to Rex Ryan,
Quit
folks.
bringing
That's
up those days.
yes, that was Why Are They Famous? Episode
about
number
that.
195. Trenton, thank you for putting up with our shenanigans there. We're gonna get to talking about you now. So
Hey, I dig it. I learned a little bit about my hometown. So
there we go. All right. It's educational a little bit. All right. So this first question I want to ask you is called the pie question.
all right.
And you just got to bear with me. It's kind of goofy, but I'm going to give you a musical pie, and we're going to divide it into 4 sections. Those 4 sections include songwriting, recording, performing, and then the 4th section is anything that doesn't fit into one of those first 3 sections, but requires your attention. So things like coming and doing podcasts with 2 goofy dudes, or managing your social media, or changing a tire on a van. All those things that you probably didn't know when you first signed up that they were going to end up taking time. So those are the 4 pieces. I want to know which of those 4 pieces feels most at home for you.
Most at home, as in the most comfortable or the most necessary?
Yeah, most comfortable for this part. Yep.
Okay. Most comfortable of those 4 would probably be the studio, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah. I like the studio aspect of it just because, I like it all, obviously, but most comfortable in the studio because that's where you get to be completely isolated from the outside world for days at a time sometimes. And you get to just truly take on a project and make it the best thing that it can be. You don't have any outside worries or concerns. It's just you and this song and the creativity. And, I feel like all the other things kind of funnel into that, if that makes sense. But definitely, I think the studio is the most at home, probably.
And is that something that you kind of figured out right away? Or was that something that you knew as soon as you stepped in the studio, you're like, all right, this is my spot? Or is that something that you kind of developed into maybe?
It's evolved over time. It definitely has. It wasn't like that in the beginning, but it's become a thing where I'm super comfortable when we get into a studio setting. Once we get it on the books, it's just something you look forward to for months in advance. And, you can think about it all you want, plan for it all you want, but things change the moment you get in there. And
Sure.
We've, been fortunate to record with some pretty good buddies on different projects, and it's similar every time, but it's also a unique experience, not just between studios, but between sessions. Each song is like a different journey from start to finish, and what works for one project doesn't necessarily work the next day when you start on the next song on the record, And so, I don't know. I really like that aspect of the unknown when you get in and just trying to make it the coolest thing ever.
That's
There
probably
are
one of the first ones
oh,
that I was just going to say Trenton's probably one of the first ones that's actually mentioned studio first
yeah, yeah,
with that
it's very cool.
question. Yeah.
It's
There
tough.
are
It's close, but like that's probably the most confident I am is
Well,
whenever we get into the studio, like knowing that we're capable of doing something cool.
a lot of people are that's low on the list, but not necessarily because of those reasons, but just because of the intimidation and how they could just spin forever and not be happy and all the different tons and tons of different reasons. But
Yeah, I could see that for sure. Honestly, I probably came from a place closer to that in the beginning. But something I look forward to getting out of every session is I know that whenever I walk out, there should be something that I'm able to work on. Like I should know what I'm supposed to be working on when I walk out of the studio. So, for example, I write a song, we work it up, we have our ideas. I have a general idea of how I'm going to sing the song. I've got different melodies, different lyrics, and this and that. And I take it in, and nothing ever ends up being exactly how it was when I walked in with it. So lyrics change, melodies change, timings change, keys change, accents change. There's so much that changes that makes the song what it is and gives it its personality. But one of the main things I want to get out of a session is if I go in and I sing something, I want to be pushed, past my limits, trusting the guys that's around me. If someone thinks I can sing something that I necessarily, don't feel comfortable singing, um, after a few takes, say I get there and I'm able to do it on the recording, well, then I have that track and that example to take home and practice to. And I know if I did it once, if I practice to it, I can continue to get there when it's probably something that never would have crossed my mind anyways. So that's something I really love about the studio is because it not only do you get to create cool stuff, but you get to make yourself better if you take advantage of that opportunity. And by making yourself better, that translates into those other slices of the pie, in my opinion. Like it lifts it all up.
a couple follow-up questions. How much time do you spend on pre-production? I know there's everybody kind of has a different approach, or what does your approach look like in terms of we have a song and we're gonna take it in and kind of see where it goes, or
Up to this point, up to this last record, not much, honestly, other than maybe like the main riffs, or the melodies, but nothing really completely worked up. I'd say on this past record there was at least an example of everything. Everything was, I wouldn't say close, but the general direction the song was going to go was pretty much set in stone, and I think they stayed true to that for the most part. Some of them closer than others. Like a few of them, like "Lay It On Me" was one that I had the song written, which we can get to here in a bit, I guess. But while I'm here, I'll go ahead and tell the story.
Go ahead.
So "Lay It On Me," track one of Tornado Alley, the first single we released, is one that I had written for a while, and I didn't really have any music to go with it, which is pretty uncommon for kind of how I approach things. Usually I've got I'm able to just pick up an acoustic and play it most of the time, 99% of the time. But this one in particular, I had the lyrics and they didn't change a whole lot throughout the pre-production process. But what happened is I kind of knew it was going to be a drop D song. I knew it was going to be a drop D driving rock and roll tune. And I kind of kept that in the back of my mind and didn't really force the music on that one. And so I think we had come back from maybe Mississippi or Louisiana out there somewhere. And we played a show up in Alva, Oklahoma at the Nightlight. And I couldn't stop thinking about that song. So while I had the band together at the time, I just forced everybody after sound check, like, hey, let's sit here and let's just jam this idea I've got. I'll sit here and sing it. Let's just play around with some drop D riffs and just make something happen. And I think it took 5-7 minutes maybe for us to have pretty much the whole structure mapped out, land on the riff, land on everything. And that's one that we got really close to before we ever took it in the studio, and it pretty much stayed the same.
That's super cool.
So, I mean, that's not the common way that things happen for us, but that's one example that shines for me that It's like, dang, like that's the one where we actually worked up a lot of it before we took it in. And it's weird because it doesn't even have a guitar solo, which is really blew my mind once we were okay with the song. You know, it didn't feel like it needed a solo, so we didn't put one in it.
No, that's cool. What year did you first step in the studio?
So that would have been 2018. I went down to Mike McClure's place, the Boo Hatch in Ada.
Oh, okay.
My first little EP I did, it was 5 or 6 songs I took down there and cut that one over the course of a few sessions. And then I think I put out my first single Valentine's Day of 2019. So, yeah, I would have recorded all those songs winter of 2018.
Okay, so what would you go back and tell Trenton in 2018 about recording now that you have, you know, probably a decent, significant more amount of confidence and understanding of everything that's going on?
I mean, there's a lot I would tell him. Just be better in general, probably. But the main thing, probably learn how to play to a click track is something I would have told however old I was. I don't even know how old I was, maybe 20. But yeah, definitely play to a click track. And don't be afraid to, you know, try to sing outside your capabilities.
Very cool. All right. Well, that's all I'm going to hammer you on the recording process. Go ahead, Soul Gravy.
One, you mentioned the family and the bluegrass background. Until I got involved with this podcast and talking to a lot of folks from Oklahoma, I didn't realize the tradition of the bluegrass, or how popular bluegrass was in Oklahoma in general. So that was just something that I learned from talking to guys like Lance Rourke and different folks like that, you know, which is pretty cool. I like I said, I didn't know that existed, but it's cool to hear. But as far as your move to more of the Stillwater area, did you go into that kind of just jumping in, or did you already have some folks that you knew and some connections before you made that move?
So I didn't really have a plan, and I didn't really have any connections. Really, the only people that I knew personally were my roommates, 2 of my other buddies that transferred with me at the same time. And so the 3 of us moved to Stillwater at the same time. We were all coming into our junior year of college, and one of them continued at Oklahoma State, another did a VOTEC program out there. But so those were, you know, my core group of people, and neither, or I guess none of us really knew anybody out there. And so the first people I met, I snuck into an open mic. I was 20, so I snuck into an open mic. I was rocking a beard, just carried my guitar case in, and no one said anything. So I just went in and played some songs on a Monday night. And if you're from Stillwater, you know where the open mic is on Monday. So I won't out them verbally, but you know where it's at. And
start with a B.
It starts with a G.
Oh, G. Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
gotcha. I gotcha.
So I went there on a Monday night. Met a couple buddies that night, and then later that week I went and saw Chad Solons play at this place called the I think it was the Other Side. No, not the Other Side Tavern. Used to be called the Spider Dome back in the day. It's where Ragweed shot the video for 17, I think. Treehouse Tavern is what it was called. So I went out there and I saw Chad play, and that was my introduction to Chad Solons. And we became buddies, and you know, I learned a lot from that guy, and got to play some shows together over those couple of years. And so didn't really, like I said, didn't know anybody. And then it wasn't long after that I kind of got connected with some more local musicians, and met my old roommate Zach Rayner, and you know, met some more buddies, started playing acoustic with, met Josh Malloy about the same time, and just various other people. And I kind of knew in the Oklahoma scene that Josh had some stuff out, and Gannon Freeman and CC Rev, they had some stuff out at the time, and didn't know any of those guys personally before I moved, and you know, ended up being some good buddies of mine, you know, once I moved over there and got acquainted. But yeah, I think pretty much every connection I made in Stillwater stemmed from those open mics. And I kind of had it in my head that I knew Reed and those guys, Southall, they had all just gotten out of town, and they were no longer really living there, but they were still around. And so I knew there was kind of this, not an absence of music, but I knew that that was a hungry town. That town was hungry for live music and creativity. And so I went in thinking I'd be able to play acoustic 3 or 4 nights a week and make money every night. Well, I got there and I was sadly disappointed that it wasn't living up to the hype that I had envisioned from all the stories I'd heard from, the early 2000s that I grew up hearing those stories. And so fast forward a little ways, me and a bunch of these friends that I met in and around Stillwater and the Oklahoma scene, we'll kind of just take it upon ourselves to try to build the scene back up, the best we could. And a good buddy of mine, Isaac McClung, was hosting the open mics there at the time, and phenomenal singer songwriter. He's still out and about. He's living in Colorado now, but he gave me some advice one time. He's like, man, I'm not going to tell you to quit your day job, or I'm not going to tell you to do this or that, but if you want to get a lot better at writing, recording, singing, booking, you'll make yourself rely on it. And so I really took that to heart, and I was refereeing basketball at the time, and I just kind of quit everything that was making me money and decided just to play music as much as I could and book as much as I could. And he's right. When you're going hungry and, you're thinking about paying your rent, you're going to figure out how to book some shows and be a little bit more persuasive and leave an impression. And so that's something that really stuck out to me. But over the few years that I was there, I ended up taking over the open mics at Willie's Saloon on Sundays, the G Word bar on Mondays that I was sneaking into. And then there's another one called the Other Side Tavern on Tuesday. And there I would host a song swap. And it just ended up being a cool place where, a few nights a week you could get together with your buddies and go share some songs you've written and play covers, and no real pressure on anything, just a fun time to hang out. And there were some nights we were having like 25 people show up to Willie's on a Sunday night and just jamming from 9 to close. And those are definitely some of my favorite Stillwater memories. But yeah, I mean, so it's crazy to me, my expectations going in versus what I got out of it and what I was met with, and wouldn't change it for the world. It's a special place, and it's definitely, there's a reason why that place is very important to Oklahoma and the rider's journey, I would say.
That's well, first I have to make a trip for Stillwater. It's also the whole thing. But the other thing that gets me as far as Stillwater is concerned, and it's I was trying to remember who I talked to that pointed this out. I'm pretty sure maybe in the Red Dirt Rangers, if I'm not mistaken. But they were talking about how it being a college town is part of what fuels that, the start of so many things out of that area. But it's odd that there's not more of those places. So you talk about Stillwater and Lubbock and different different places like that, but it's not here in Memphis. It's not in Oxford, Mississippi. It's not in, Lexington, Kentucky. It's, what I mean? It's not to those degrees. There may be small parts, but it's very, very cool, very rare. I guess unfortunately it's rare, but I'm glad that it exists because there's at least a hub for you guys to do what you're doing.
Yeah, and it's hard to fathom, why it's not everywhere else. At least some version of it,
Mm-hmm.
And there's lots of versions of that across the country, I think, and just Stillwater specifically. I don't know. I've thought about this question a lot, or this idea, what makes it so unique and what makes it just so, I guess, just not necessarily talked about, but it's its own monster, And I think the answer is there's a lot of reasons, and it's kind of subjective. It's, it boils down to a number of things, and for me, I think it's probably the history, and not just the history, but like the consistent just killers of songwriters that have come and gone that owned that place and that embodied that place. And it wasn't just like, guys would come through and move on. It kind of became a part of their story and a part of their persona, and, always talked about. And I think that's kind of helped carry on the legacy of Red Dirt and Stillwater. Is just, it's not that it's a stomping ground that you build up a following, then you move on with your life. It's like something that always becomes part of the story. And I think that probably plays a large part in it.
Yeah, I could see that, because it's not a come and go situation, and compared to other ones. Yeah, definitely could see that. But yeah, it does that. It's like Memphis has a huge history of music, but it doesn't. It kind of it faded out at some point in time. You know what I mean? And it's never rebirth, and in any. I mean, there's small things, but nothing substantial like that. So.
And another thing I've noticed is no one really blows up in Stillwater and stays there for their entire career. So like I said, it's more of a thing that becomes part of your story and a part of the myth, and it's a building block, and it's something that's a part of you. But I also just kind of had to realize at a certain point that all the greats that I've seen come through here, they came and they stayed, and then eventually they had to move on and be based out of somewhere else, for example, or just do something else. And so I don't know, it's a weird thing, but I kind of found myself in that same position. I lived there for 4 or 5 years. I went in a junior and stayed a couple years after I graduated college. So I really kind of thought that once I finished up school, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll have all this time to do nothing but focus on music in Stillwater now. And that was the case, but it also became a thing where it's still such a small place that, once you're there longer than your friends in your friend group, you kind of see, you kind of go through a friend group and you realize everybody else has moved on and moved away and is doing something else. And you're on your third friend group in. And you're like, man, I'm like the last man standing in Stillwater from when I got here. That's might be kind of a cue to go find something else and go make somewhere else home. And so I found myself in that position, and I totally get it.
You're starting to get the gray hairs while everyone else still got acne, right?
Oh, man.
Well, we are right up against halftime. So, Trenton, if you could tell us a little bit about the song that we're going to listen to. It's called Lay It On Me. Maybe give us a little background on that.
Yeah, so I kind of talked about it a little bit earlier. It's one that, ended up staying really, really close to how we worked it up ahead of time before we went into the studio to record this record. But I picked it for track one just because it sets the tone. I kind of had to swallow my pride a little bit as a songwriter, and again, this is subjective. This is my own personal journey, but I had a problem, and I still do every time I write a song. I'm trying to make it too wordy and too long and too much of a story, because I'm drawn to the songwriter side of things 99% of the time, and so much so that like I can't really enjoy a song unless I read the lyrics along with it for the first time. Like I have to know what's being said and how it's being said. And this one in particular is probably one of the least storytelling songs on the whole record. And like for me, that was a hard pill to swallow, because I didn't want it to necessarily be that way. But I'm also not naive to the fact that, a lot of people that listen to your songs aren't there for the lyrics. A lot of them, you're trying to inspire an emotion in someone. And, so I wanted to make sure I kind of touched all my bases and just kind of spread the wealth on intention behind all the songs. And so this is one that just kind of sets the mood and sets the bar and gets the energy going. And it's one that goes really, really hard live, and it's still fun to belt out and sing. But it's not the craziest written song, but it's still an honest song. It's still about, getting out there and doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Like it's reality. It's just me being gone and on the road, and it's not easy. And so I really didn't want to overcomplicate it on that front, but yeah, it's a fun one to play live for sure.
Perfect. All right. Well, folks, give this one a listen, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Trenton, I'll have you hit the little mute button, and there you go, Soul Gravy.
All right. Kick it. Yeah.
There we go. We don't need no guitar solo. That is great, man.
It was rocking week this week on the podcast as far as Spencer last night and Trenton. I know Spencer was supposed to be last week, but still, the way that lined up was pretty well. Yeah, makes sense.
Sure. It sure did.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got a bunch of questions, actually.
Hit me with them.
So, Gravy, you're just going to have to wait.
Okay.
We don't talk very much about sequencing, but how much time and thought goes into how you want an album to be sequenced in terms of kind of top to bottom?
As far as the track list?
Yeah.
So the first record I did, that one was so spread out. It took months and months and months to record all those. And so I tried to do a little bit of a thought about that, but not as much as I should have on that non-essential record. This one, I spent a lot of time thinking about the sequencing of the track list. And so much that, I don't know, I want to say I had like a formula, but I really didn't. It's just, I didn't want too many like slow songs in a row. You know, I didn't want too many fast songs in a row. I wanted to start with a banger. I wanted to leave a banger for last. So that way, like, it's a song like, so we did a cover of Mike McClure's Billy the Beast. And I knew that song was going to be banging. And I know that people know that song. So I intentionally put it last just so people would have to listen to the rest of the record to get to the bottom of it. If they're, you know, the type that listens from front to back. And
we appreciate those people.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I didn't want to list them like, you know, strongest to weakest. I really did it intentionally where it looks like there's really no order. But in my opinion, it's like it's like you're riding a roller coaster. You know, you got energy going, and then you need something to kind of give you a break from it, and then something to work you back up gradually. And that's just kind of one way I thought about it. But yeah, I don't know. So I'm curious about this. How do you guys prefer for an album to be listed in order? Like what's the ride you want a record to take you on?
Well, I'll answer this one. I mean, you can answer it too, but I'm going to answer first. I mean, I think the roller coaster is a good analogy. You know, it's not horribly different in my brain from kind of the way a set list is put together. I mean, obviously there's songs from different albums that'll come together, but you know, you've got to kind of start off pretty hot and then, you know, maybe bring it back down a little bit and then, you know, set them up for the finish. So, I mean, that's kind of how I want to listen to a record, or if I'm at a show, I'm the same. I don't want 4 slow songs in a row unless that's what I signed up for, you know, with the artist. You know, I want to go on that journey. On the artist.
For me, a lot of it depends on who it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because then I know what to expect. Because some guys are going to be, you know, maybe mid-tempo, slow, maybe slow, and then faster, and then you know what I mean. It's going to be the opposite roller coaster. But of course, like with Trenton sound, it's going to come out of the gate hot, probably finish hot, and then you know in the middle.
Yeah, so I kind of think of the track list and a set list similarly in this way. I want to, like I said, I want to come out the gate hot. I want to throw a few bangers right off the bat, something that we know will rip. And my main goal in the first, 4 or 5 songs, like I want to earn the respect and the trust of the listener, whether it be on the album or on, you know, a live show. And so I think if we can spend the first 3 to 5 songs of a show, you know, gaining the trust of whoever's sitting there listening, then I think our slower songs, when you're asking for their attention, I think that's whenever you get their attention, is once they've already got your trust, you know. And I don't know. I think that's a little bit more effective. And then I'm comfortable putting 2 or 3 slow songs in a row. But I also want to climb out of that with something that ties it to what's coming in 2 songs from now.
Yeah,
and
totally makes sense.
Yeah, and so kind of did a similar thing on the record. You know, with 11 songs, you're kind of more sporadic jumps intensity wise, I think, but same idea for the most part.
Cynthia.
Cool. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. I do so gravy. I'm going to kind of dominate this part of the interview. Sorry, but
read then Cynthia's comment then. If you're going to
I
dominate
will.
this thing. Okay.
But I've got some that I got to get to first. So,
tried,
Josh
Cynthia.
Malloy, you mentioned earlier, and I know you guys are buddies. I saw that you've got some shows coming up with him.
Mhm.
What are those crowds like?
Dude, Josh's crowds are great. He's selling a lot of tickets, and his fans are genuine. They're good people. Some of the best, and they treat us really good. They show up early. This is surprising to me, and I don't really know how it differs so much artist to artist, fan base to fan base, because a lot of this in the scene is overlapping, like very
Sure.
seldom do you find somebody that just absolutely despises, the next guy over in the same scene. So it's a lot. I know a lot of the bigger artists share a lot of the same fan base in this scene specifically, but his crowds in general, dude, they show up early every single show. And it may be because they want to get on the gate for him, but regardless, they're there for us early by association.
Awesome. Yeah.
And half the time they don't even know that we're opening. But I've kind of like accepted that no one's ever going to know we're opening or who we are. And so we're just going to, like I said, we're going to come out the gate going as hard as we can. And especially on those opening sets, when they're 45, 60 minutes, like we get to play the bangers, nothing but. Yep. And so very rarely leave time for the slow songs because we're still trying to leave an impression on these opening sets. And but his crowds, man, they show up, they buy a lot of merch, and it never fails. They always come and shake my hand at the merch booth after the show, and I mean it's just always good. It really is.
I was lucky enough, Soul Gravy, I'm going to rub this in a little bit, but I got to see Josh at Cane's probably 3 years ago, and I think Gannon opened up for him with Mason Lively.
Yeah, so, I was actually at that show. I got to hang out, but
I missed you, man. All right.
We opened the next two Kane shows, but not that one.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, sorry I missed that, but I'll work on that.
Well, I've been to Cane's Chicken before, so yeah.
Different.
Take that.
Different, but still a great experience if you like cane sauce. All right, so 2 songs that I want to talk specifically or ask specifically on. First one is Half the Cards. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, for sure. This is one that I knew would be on the record, and so let me just kind of give you guys the rundown on this song. So we lost a good buddy of ours, Jordan Gladfelter, best friend in the whole world, and he was the drummer in my band as well. So we lost him Memorial Day 24, and before he passed away, like we were living together, roommates. I mean, just a monster drummer, awesome guy. And we were talking one night. He gave me an idea. He's like, "Man, I'm only half the cards I've been dealt." And we're just kind of talking about our upbringing and different life experiences we've had, growing up. And he's from Kansas, and so I wrote a song about that idea. I'm only half the cards I've been dealt. Just kind of talking about like you're dealt cards at birth, you're dealt cards throughout your life, but the other half is basically what you make it. It was kind of the idea of it. And so I had that one kind of done in my pocket. I would play it acoustic and, had some really cool ideas for it to take it into the studio before we started the next project. Well, when he passed away, that kind of uprooted everything. We canceled shows for a few months, and we got back to a place where we knew he'd be wanting us to continue to play. And like, that's non-negotiable. We have to be playing shows. Like, that's the only thing that was helping. And so we did that, and I still had the song in my back pocket. And I knew it was going to be kind of a train beat thing, but I also knew I needed to rewrite it given the context. And so we're coming back from, what's that place called? Rick's Cafe in Starkville, Mississippi. We played out there with Josh on a run, and I think it was like 5 a.m. Everybody's asleep. I've got a 2001 Ford Excursion with a 7.3 that we just cruise across the country in. I've got a luggage rack on the back. We throw merch boxes on there, and so we get in and we get out, and we get in and out as cheaply as possible with no trailer when we can. Yep. But so like I said, it's right before daylight. We're coming through Louisiana or somewhere over there, and it was on my mind. I didn't want to force rewriting this song until the time was right, and so I kind of sat on it. I knew the time would come. And so while everybody was asleep, I just felt like putting putting it on repeat on my radio. And so I drove for like an hour maybe, just listening to that song, my voice memo of it the first time I recorded it on repeat. And I started seeing where I could change some things and how I could change the context to fit a little bit better and add some stuff here and there. And so I kind of did that and recorded it verbally and went and transposed it later. And ended up like not changing anything really from that moment other than maybe a little bit of phrasing. And then we took it in the studio, and that's one we hadn't worked up at all. That I just wanted to let it become whatever it was going to become in the studio. And so on the way there, the day we were going to cut it, I saved it. I think we cut it last. Yeah, because we were just kind of putting it off. Just wanted to sit on it and really have the best tackle on it that we could. And so on the way to the studio, we just, like, I was just listening to something. I was like, oh, my God, that has to be a train beat. And which is ironic because, like, you know, train beat's pretty straight. And this dude was a rock and roll drummer. And so the most country song on the record, you know, it was in his honor. And with him being a rock drummer. But, man, I'm just super in love with that song. It's one of my favorites I've ever written. I mean, it'll always be one of my favorites, if not my favorite. Probably is my favorite I've ever written. Definitely means more to me than any song. But I mean, there's just a lot of stuff in there, and it's kind of from this perspective of, you know, the chorus is kind of like, you know, I'm hurting. What am I going to do? And it's like, well, you just have to keep going and rolling with it. So that's just to the song, but I like talking about that one, and it's definitely a good one.
Well, thanks for sharing, and obviously sorry for the loss. That's incredibly difficult. But folks, you have homework. We don't like to give out homework very often, but we're going to give out some homework if you're watching. Make sure you go give Half the Cards a listen, okay?
It's a deep cut.
You want to get into some of the rapid fires?
Are we there? My clock reset because we had an Amber Alert, so my clock is off. Is it time for a rapid fire?
We're at 51, so.
Oh, it's definitely time for rapid fire. All right. All right. First of all, first question: how do you get away with wearing that shirt in Stillwater?
Wearing this shirt?
Yeah. Oh, it's Oklahoma State. Sorry, I only saw. All right, fair enough. My fault. I only saw Oklahoma on there, and it looked red on my camera. So. I was
but I mean that's definitely a no-no. I mean you'll be paying double for your double whales.
Absolutely. All right. First rapid fire question. I guess second technically. What's your favorite chord?
Favorite chord? Ooh. Open tuning D chord or drop D tuning open D. Sure.
I'm surprised that's not a more common answer, to be honest.
It makes everything sound better in drop D.
It does. I agree. Yeah. All right. Do you listen to music on Spotify?
I do use Spotify.
Okay. Any idea who would have been on your Spotify Wrapped at the end of last year?
Whiskey Myers, Audio Slave, Soundgarden, Little Feat, and Free.
Shout out to Little Feat.
I love that. Those are banging records.
That's some funky stuff right
Phenomenal.
there. I went down that rabbit hole. What'd you say?
That might be my favorite band of all time.
Really?
They're great. They're amazing.
Yeah, definitely. That's person number 2. Sam Morrow is like huge.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm not a huge fan of those tribute albums, but man, somebody did one of those, I'd be first in line. So that would be fun. All right. You can have dinner with one historical figure. Who you gonna eat with, and what are you gonna eat?
I know it said rapid fire, but give me like 10 seconds.
You're good. There is no rush.
I keep looking at my screen here, and it like there's a glamour shot John Conley staring at me from. He's been giving me the eye. See.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Without the glass.
I'm having dinner with Plato.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. I'm having dinner with Plato. We're having fajitas, and we're talking about the labyrinth and Egypt and Atlantis.
All right. Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. You've seen a few of these. What's your ideal green room look like?
Ideal green room, man, has a shower, absolutely. A couple couches for catching up on sleep from driving through the night and getting there. Early access, where it's not just when we load in, we can drive through the night, get there at 9 a.m. and crash until sound check. That'd be perfect.
Yeah.
And then like the rest is just, I'm good. That's all I need.
All right. Well, it's simple. Are there any great green rooms that you've been in that you're like, man, I could live here?
Oh man. One of my long-standing favorites is the Majestic in Fort Smith, Arkansas.
Yeah, I've heard
they've got a killer green room. We've seen a lot of cool ones with Josh lately. Grady's is pretty sick in Yukon. They've got a golf simulator in there. It's fun. Yeah, it's a good time. I've slept in that.
I can't get my guy out of there when we go there. So yeah, I know what you mean. All right. First concert that you attended, and then first concert that you paid to go see.
The first one I attended and paid to go see was Stoney LaRue at Heritage Hall in Ardmore. So I mean, I guess that's kind of the same answer for both. But I was 16 years old, I believe. Yeah, 16, first concert, Stoney LaRue in Ardmore.
Okay. This one could be tough, but I want a bucket list venue in Oklahoma that you haven't played yet, and then a bucket list venue outside of Oklahoma that you'd like to play.
Bucket list venue in Oklahoma that I would love to play. I gotta say Paycom.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
We've done Canes and Criterion with Josh, and there are a few more that we've done the Tower. Yeah, so I mean, I want to do the biggest one in Oklahoma. Be Paycom again. Outside of Oklahoma, Red Rocks.
All right.
I gotta do Red Rocks.
All right, you get Trent. You get to add your music to any soundtrack or movie, TV show, whatever. What are you adding your music to?
Oh man. Dang.
To me, there's two different ways people can look at that question, though. One can look at it as financially, and two, how it fits, like if they're a fan of a movie.
Right? Yeah, it's like, where does it fit versus what would help?
Exactly.
So I guess we'll make a couple bucks while you're doing it, right?
Right.
Yeah. I guess like logically, best answer would be Landman. Like putting one of our Drop D Rock songs on Landman would fit pretty good. I grew up Oldfield my whole life, so I mean that's what I know. You know, if I had to like be really specific for a movie, put like, I don't know, put one of our hard rock ones on Fight Club or something. That'd be cool.
That'd be cool too. Well, there was a guy, his handle was Taylor Sheridan, who dropped in one of our TikTok lives. I don't think he's here tonight, but we'll pass it along if we bump into him. So, last question I have for you: sad song. If I say sad song, what comes to your brain?
Oh my God. Broken Window Serenade is the first one that pops into my head.
It's a great answer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one or Nutshell.
All right, perfect.
Okay. Like a Stone, of course, Chris Cornell acoustic.
Okay, yeah. That also qualifies. So, all right. Well, that's the end of rapid fire. We have set you up for the final question. I know Soul Gravy has some things to talk about before we get to the final question, but
that moment passed. That moment passed.
Sorry about that.
A comment from the chat from Miss Cynthia. You just shot her down.
I didn't see it. It's really small on my computer.
So she pointed out that she let's see, never mind. That's Jude. We want to talk about what Jude said. Sorry, Jude. Oh goodness. Basically, she said coming out of the gate hot, then break her heart, then make her fall in love with you again. That's the way she likes her albums.
Okay. Okay. I like that. That's a good
He
explanation.
knows. Yes. So
Yes.
shout out to Cynthia. Thank you for the question. Sorry, I'll try to make it print bigger on my computer next time.
I was trying to tell you, you wouldn't let me have any space.
You know,
Anyway.
No space tonight.
I know. With Soul Gravy is written in small print on this episode. All right.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. All right. Y'all make sure you go follow Trenton on all of his socials, wherever you stream your music. Hit that follow button. We know all those things are important because to help build the resume so guys can get the gigs. Unfortunately, that's part of the deal that everybody has to deal with. Also, go to a show. Trenton and any other independent guys that are rolling through your area, go to a show, buy some merch, shake a hand, let them know you heard them, and I guarantee the money will help them get down the road physically, and the words will help mentally, I guess is how you would put that.
That expedition takes a lot of gas, so let's buy some merch, folks.
Right.
I'll be at the merch booth every show till you get kicked out. I'm the one selling merch at every show.
Fantastic.
And hopefully that doesn't ever get lost on you, Trenton, because like I've seen it firsthand with my kiddos. Somebody they didn't know was an opener, and then they met them. Listened to them. It sunk in a little bit, but then they met them after at the table, got something signed or whatever, and then I hear the music blasting out of their rooms. So it does work. So. Look at BJ Barr, right?
That's right.
The king of the merch table.
Yep.
All right, guys. The last question, Trenton. This has started out as a joke on episode 1, and now it is a requirement that we ask this. We need to know, what is your favorite Little Debbie snack?
Oh, favorite Little Debbie snack. Oh man, I probably haven't had a Little Debbie snack in years, but. Are zebra cakes Little Debbie?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Zebra cakes.
All right.
Yep.
Good answer.
Yeah, zebra
Good
cakes.
answer.
Damn, that sounds good. I really haven't had any in a long time. But that sounds
Got a
great.
thinking you might want one.
We ruined it. There you go, Little Debbie. Hop on as a sponsor. We are encouraging people to.
Still opportunities available. Folks,
Yep.
we appreciate you hanging out with us tonight. It's been a blast, and Trenton, thank you for taking time. I know I went over, and that's my fault, but we had an Amber Alert. So
You're only a minute and 36 seconds late, so you're good.
Oh, okay. We did pretty good then. All right. Well, thanks for being here, folks. Join us tomorrow night for Henry Williams, 8:00. That's going to be fun. I promise. I'm going to let Soul Gravy speak tomorrow. So see y'all.
See ya. All right.